So we recently, quotation marks, deactivated Instagram.
Yeah, I deleted the app from my phone.
Oh, yeah, true. You went like all out.
Yeah, but
Even
I didn't.
privately.
I'm not even using it for myself anymore. But I deleted it. I deleted the app. I didn't delete our account because it's more like, it's kind of like a Yellow Pages profile now.
Yeah.
Like it's there.
To put it. Yeah.
It's there because people go to Instagram to look for us if they see our name somewhere. It shows a little bit of our portfolio now because I deleted all of our posts except for our portfolio posts because I wanted it to be like a little mini portfolio. And then it has links to more relevant platforms for us.
Okay, so maybe then we should get into why you did it.
Why I did it.
Why you did it, yes.
It was mainly driven by the political climate. That was like the pushing force where I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. But then what actually happened is I started to reflect on whether we needed it at all, because basically I was like, I don't want to be on Instagram anymore.
Okay.
For me, like I wanted to be able to delete the app, but it was this constant thing, and I've wanted to delete it so many times, but it was always just like, I need it for the business and I need it to grow a following for same, and I can't delete it because then it would hurt our strategy and stuff like that. So then I was like, wait a second though, do we really need to be there still? And then I started to realize I actually hated Instagram the last couple of years because it's like crickets on there. It's been that way for a while. We did an episode about like what's going on with Instagram.
I know.
On there.
Yeah, it was like
that didn't change.
Yeah, it was like a lack of response because we were posting content and like even if let's just say it's not the best content ever, but we were like, let's just pretend it's not. Even then, might I had a point. Sorry, can you then cut this? Okay, let's go back. For example, on TikTok, even if the content isn't so good, you still get pushed into the algorithm and there are still comments, there's still a conversation happening. That's what I'm trying to say. No matter really the quality of the content.
Yeah, it's 100% true.
Exactly. So that's what I meant. So let's pretend our content was shit. There would have still been something going on TikTok, and on Instagram it was crickets. Yeah.
So I can actually say something to this because I know from my account on TikTok, if I post a video that doesn't do well, it still gets about 400 views.
Yeah.
So TikTok will basically gift you 200 to 400 views. If you don't go beyond 400, actually it's more like 300, but 400 is also kind of like the cap. It means TikTok tested your video in the algorithm. It served it to people that it thought would like your content, and they didn't engage with it enough that TikTok decided to push it further.
Yeah.
But you still get 200 to 400 people seeing your video, and they have an opportunity to respond to it. Instagram doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Your video will not be pushed, and people will not even see it. And it's not even the videos was not even my main issue. Like Reels, I don't care about. It was the fact that our type of content, which shifted towards being educational, didn't fit the platform anymore because the platform is just about, and I would say TikTok is similar, is just about very quick clickbaity engagement type content that people are going to look at very briefly and then scroll to the next one, and they'll forget about what they just watched. And if you create content that's meant for more of a like long-term effect that you want people to refer back to, like educational content, Instagram is not the right place for that.
Yeah, I think it's more, maybe it shifted, but the way I remember Instagram is more like aesthetics,
but I feel like those text posts, those carousel posts used to have a bigger impact than they do now.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, because I read a lot of, like years ago, I read a lot of strategies about those carousels.
Yeah, that's completely irrelevant now.
Yeah,
it's like such a waste of time because those posts take a lot of work. It takes sometimes a lot of research, sometimes a lot of writing, and then rewording and editing it down to fit in like a carousel format. It's a lot of copywriting involved because you have to be really to the point and precise. It's not like a blog post where you can like go into a lot of detail.
Yeah.
You really have to be really concise with how you word things, and that's hard to do and takes a lot of time. And the output is just like 5 images with text on it, and then you get like 10 likes, and then you look at the statistics, and it's only from your followers.
Yeah.
It's only been shown to like 5 people.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Even though you have 1,200 followers, like how does that make sense then?
The math's not adding up.
No, like if you're not gonna push my posts, at least show it to my followers, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's kind of what discouraged us from the platform altogether, because we were like putting out really thoughtful content. There was just crickets. There were like the I don't know, like the same people. You could always like see the names.
Yeah.
I'm like, does it only get served to these people? Like, I don't know. I don't get it.
Either it only gets served to those people, or those are the only people who tend to react. I feel like Instagram also has a lot of lurkers.
That's true, yeah.
And I didn't want to be on a platform anymore for lurkers. I want to be in places for people who actually are going to engage with our content and actually be an active part of the community.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like creating content for lurkers anymore.
Yeah.
And that was then the main reason why we left Instagram. So it was kind of like the fire that started the ideas of like, okay, changing our content strategy was Mark Zuckerberg probably. But the real driving factor was definitely that we just were so sick of Instagram.
Yeah. It was never fulfilling. Yeah, it was never fulfilling. We posted and it was like, yeah.
Honestly, I feel more fulfilled posting a 10-minute video on YouTube and seeing it only got 8 views than I ever did on Instagram, if I'm being quite honest.
Yeah. There's just more engagement on those platforms also.
I feel like the potential is also there. I feel like YouTube will continue to serve my video, whereas on Instagram, it's served to people for the first... Also TikTok, this is also an issue on TikTok. It's served to people for the first hour it's online. And if it doesn't get traction there, it'll be buried by the algorithm. YouTube is different because you post something, it could come up on someone's feed 6 years later and it could blow up and you could get 1 million views. And that's what I like about YouTube is that it's a long-term game. And I find that more fulfilling because I don't feel like I'm putting out this content and then I see instantly it didn't do well. And then I feel like it was for nothing. For YouTube, I feel like if it doesn't do well instantly, I'm fine with that. Keep putting out content. Eventually people will come, you'll get more subscribers. People will go back to your old content. It's there. It's more like, it feels like it's more of a collection of your content that people are going to actually look at rather than just trying to get a quick moment of success.
Yeah, I think it also comes from being a bit sick of the short form content. Not in the sense of short form educational content, but more like this brain rot content.
Brain rot content. It's just there to get a quick reaction from someone, often a rage bait reaction, something they were likely to comment on because they're pissed off, not even commenting because they think it's good.
Yeah.
And then they move on to the next one. I just feel like, what is the value of that for a business long term? Besides the revenue you get from the clicks, I don't know.
Yeah. For sure.
That's just not our business model. I don't want to be like I don't want a lot of followers to give me a lot of views so that I can make money off of the views. It's more about building something that people are going to refer to when they're looking for knowledge.
Yeah.
And I think YouTube is a better place for that because people who go on YouTube, first of all, they're more prepared to watch a longer video. I feel like they already have a longer attention span. Then there's the nature of people discovering a creator and then looking at their other videos, which I feel like doesn't happen so much on those other platforms. I think TikTok does it better because TikTok will serve you content from a user you've watched multiple times without you having to follow them. I don't have that same experience on Instagram. That's why I prefer as a creator TikTok, because I feel like people will see my content regardless if they follow me or not. Whereas on Instagram, not even your followers are seeing your content, and then it's also not being pushed to new people.
Yeah, yes.
It's like it's just a void that no one's like hearing you in there.
Yeah, to be honest, I feel like it's just there for credibility. As in, for example, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that most creators are actually on TikTok And then they have like this Instagram account where they repurpose the same content that they post on TikTok, just so it's also there as an archive.
Yeah.
So that they're also present on Instagram.
No, definitely. If I look at all of the people I follow, which are part of the same community of the stuff I post, when I look at their Instagram, they have a lot less followers and a lot less engagement there, and it's the exact same content.
That's what I mean.
And on TikTok, they have a lot more followers and a lot more engagement. So the content is not the issue. The platform is the issue.
Yeah. For example, I remember they always had in their bio like, I don't know, 2 million followers on TikTok. And then you looked at the followers on Instagram, and it was like 500,000.
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
that
a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though it's the same content. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And yeah, okay, it's possible that the audiences are different on Instagram and maybe their audience is more on TikTok rather than Instagram. That's also probably a factor. But I do think that the platform is the issue.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I've seen a lot of posts where people are complaining about Instagram and its algorithm.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's just our issue.
No,
Anyway,
it's definitely not just our issue. I also see so much online right now about how people are just sick of the digital noise in general, the brain rot content, the short form content, being served so much stuff that you actually don't really want to see.
Yeah, it's like overwhelming. I had that as well quite recently, that I just got overwhelmed when I was scrolling. There was so much. And I was like,
I get actual anxiety when I do it.
yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it used to give, I think it's a bit difficult because in the beginning, I really liked it because I was able to just like scroll through it and not think about anything else. So it kind of like made me chill. But time after time, it like got so polarizing. Like maybe it's because I watched certain type of content. But suddenly all I got served was like really things that make me angry.
Yeah.
I was just angry and suddenly the whole time.
I think it's on purpose, to be honest, because that's the type of content people engage with.
Yeah, like for example, if I watch a lot of feminist content, suddenly I get served like really crazy, like cases, for example, whatever, something that makes me angry.
Yeah.
And I am all for like, of course, it's good that there's platforms that show you reality, that talk about a bunch of things, but I don't know, it's just overwhelming, and it made me more angry than it made me actually calm.
Yeah.
And that's a bit of that's something that, yeah, it's like difficult dealing with. And what I prefer on YouTube, I like watch my little tutorials or I watch my review content. It's like I can be more focused on what I want to see and then watch actually that.
I think that's another thing that makes YouTube different to these other platforms and I feel like more different to Instagram because I feel like TikTok is that for the younger generations, but people go to YouTube to look for something specifically. So if you're looking for a tutorial or you're looking for someone to educate you on something, you'll be like, how to da-da-da in the YouTube search bar. Very similar to how people use Google. And I think the younger generation does that with TikTok.
Yeah.
Which is funny because they search everything on TikTok, things we would Google. But yeah, so I just think that YouTube is better for educational content, which is the content that we're doing. And it makes more sense to me. I would prefer to make a video out of like those short carousels that we were doing for YouTube. And instead of those short carousels, do a longer blog post where you can really go into a lot of detail and
context goes missing otherwise. Because when you post something like that, then if there's sometimes engagement that people like, yeah, you didn't say this, you didn't say that, they interpret it in a way that wasn't. Oh my God.
They make a lot of assumptions.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, because
what a bad day for this podcast. I'm missing all the words. I was talking German all day.
It's fine. I'm on a roll because I recorded
I'm not on a roll at all, and
4
you can
YouTube
tell.
videos today, so I'm totally on it.
Okay. Well, so that's why I let you do most of the talking this episode. Thank you. What I was trying to say is that what was I just talking about?
Yeah, there's context missing.
Thank you. Yeah, there's context missing, and people fill in the blanks with their own experience, with their own context. Makes sense. I do the same. I mean, we all do the same. But I'm reflected, and then I'm like, okay, this is probably then not meant for me.
Yeah.
Or not everyone can cover every little edge case or everything about a topic in a carousel. Yeah. Also, we had the same with threads, where you cannot cover every possible angle on a, what is it called, a thread.
Yeah, on a thread,
tweet,
and
I
it's
don't
like
know.
it's only like I don't know how many characters you have, 500 or something.
Exactly. So people get angry. People read something. They're like, I don't know. They are like, I don't know. They're
Scamming
scamming people because they wrote this and that. But if you actually knew us,
Yeah.
then you would know more context. But obviously, you get served something. You don't know these
But
people.
Threads started to become okay. So let's talk about Threads for a second, because I think Threads was the moment when we realized there are other platforms out there where you will get a lot more quality engagement from people in your community. That was our initial experience with Threads.
Yeah, so it was kind of like a turning point.
Yeah.
Because after Instagram was just like, I don't know how to say this in English, dahingeplätschert. It's kind of like, it was there and it was just like,
Yeah, existing.
it existed. And yeah, it wasn't super engaging, let's put it that way. And once we joined Threads, suddenly we got like a lot of engagement. And we're not talking about, oh my God, getting a lot of likes and follows. We're talking about conversations.
Actual conversations with real humans. Yeah.
Exactly. It was the conversations. And that's when we noticed, oh my God, this is just so much more fun. And this is just so much more what we want to do.
Yeah.
So that's how it started.
Yeah, I think that's what made us realize there are platforms that work better for us and platforms that work not so good for us for the type of content that we want to be doing. But then something interesting happened with Threads, and I feel like, I don't know if something changed in the algorithm, that Instagram changed something, or if we just messed up our algorithm by engaging with the wrong posts. I don't know what it was, but there was a shift that happened, and I feel like Threads became like a written version of the Instagram Reels. It was just like rage bait posts, things that would get you to comment.
Yeah.
There would be no back and forth between the person who like initially posted it.
True. It's just like people arguing.
Just people arguing in the comment, like in thread, underneath the thread, in their own threads. And then similar to like on Instagram when people start arguing in the comments on Reels, but you never hear from the creator.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was like super weird energy suddenly. Yeah, it put me off Threads a little bit.
Yeah, I had that in my private threads. I didn't see it so much on the same threads, but on my private one, yes. It was just unhinged posts. And of course I clicked them in the beginning because I was like, what the fuck? And of course then that was my algorithm.
That's all you get. But no, that happened with the same account too. Because obviously I started clicking on like political content around the time of the election in the US. And then I was only seeing political content. And I know people were telling me like you can turn it off.
Yeah.
But I don't want to turn off political content completely because I'm interested in it.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to click on one thing and suddenly only be served that the entire time.
Yeah.
Why can't I tell Threads like, I want to see some of this, but I want to see mainly stuff from the design community? You can't do that.
No, and it also, when it's political, it's often rage bait. It's not like informational. Like, for example, back in the days, Twitter used to be a place where you just saw a lot of informational tweets and content too.
Yeah, and very like up-to-date things. Like if there was something happening in the world right now, Twitter knew what was going on.
Exactly. That's where you went.
You went there for context.
You went there for context, and it was like very short form, and then read something longer somewhere else.
Yeah.
It was more like, hey, get the quick information, but then go to a YouTube video or go to this article, whatever, or you just have a conversation, which is also not possible right now on Twitter.
Yeah.
But just have like a genuine conversation with other people. That's what it was about. And then I feel like Threads was a bit different.
Yeah.
It was always a bit different in the terms of what content was on there. And especially on my private one, I noticed, but it was fine on our same one. So I was like, okay, fine. That's where I scrolled through. Then I abandoned my private one.
Yeah.
And now it's horrible there too.
Yeah, it's just kind of like gone downhill, and we still have our community there. There are specific people, like I know their pictures and their usernames.
Yeah.
And I know they're still there, and they're one reason why I don't want to delete the Threads account and why I still engage there sometimes, because those are the people that I enjoyed having conversations with and would still want to have conversations with. Not all of them have moved to Blue Sky or are active there. I feel like Blue Sky is a little bit dead sometimes. Like when I post something there, it's also the same people always reacting to it, which I think is nice because it's, their names, and I don't mind that. But I think Blue Sky is not at the stage that Threads is at yet, where there's just a lot more going on there.
Yeah.
But what I do like about Blue Sky, and one of the reasons we moved there, well, I mean, the main reason is I just want to get rid of meta apps in general. And because Threads became so clickbaity, Blue Sky seems more down to earth, more authentic content. And what I like about it, which took me a second to like figure out, is that you can create your own algorithm. Like you can create your own little, I don't know what they're called.
I don't know either.
Feeds? I guess they're called feeds.
Yeah, I think they're called feeds.
You can create your own feeds, and you can find like your community, and you have a feed with just that community, and then you're seeing content that you want to see.
Okay, I think that there's a lot less going on. That's true. But the things that are going on seem to be of higher quality.
Yeah.
So I would then rather engage there than somewhere where there's a lot going on, and then just attract also weirdest people that have
Weird people. It starts being served to the wrong people, and then you only get hate.
Yeah, it's like it was super hateful. We've experienced this more than
multiple
once.
times. Anytime a post went semi-viral on Threads, meaning like we had over 100,000 views or something, it got unhinged. Like people would start bullying us, like zero context, calling us stupid, telling us we don't know what we're doing, we don't know how to do our jobs. Like, how are people paying us for when our website looks like it's worth $15? Like, weirdest stuff.
Yeah, but I think I don't know if that's a platform issue per se.
I think it is a platform issue because I'm not 100% sure those are real people.
I mean, first of all, yes, true. Now what I'm saying is, for example, there was this one example on Twitter too, where she just posted like, it was longer when it was still Twitter and not Elon Musk's whatever it is. Exactly. It was more like the one posted, I enjoy my coffee in the garden with my boyfriend every morning, something like that. Some wholesome post. I mean, who cares? But super nice, good for you. And
and then people started hating her.
Exactly.
Like, not everyone has the privilege to take this much time in the morning.
That's what I mean. I think then because when 100,000 people see something, it's just like.
But don't you think there are 100,000 people out there that would find that post totally fine?
For sure. But
so why does it send it to people who they know? Like, they know, the algorithm knows there are people that like to comment negatively on stuff.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I know way too little about how the algorithm actually works.
I don't know a lot about it, but I'm 100% sure it's all about getting a lot of people to comment.
For sure. That's why also they have all these rage.
And that's why they have all these bots too. And Instagram, Mark Zuckerberg, they admitted to creating AI accounts, bot accounts. So, and Elon Musk has been doing this since he took over Twitter too. So the internet is full of not real people, and I'm convinced that most of those really hateful comments don't come from real people, because I'm of the belief that most people want to get along.
Yeah.
And I think, some of them maybe are real, but I think most of them aren't. I mean, a lot of them are not even...
I don't know. This seemed real to me. It didn't seem so body to me, because
I don't know, some of them didn't even have real profile pictures and stuff.
I don't know. I'm thinking yes, for sure. There's bot comments. I'm not denying that at all. There are. I just don't know. Maybe it just seemed too real. Like people...
I think that the comments made by them, whether it was a bot or not, are comments that real people would also make, of course. I think it's also things people out there actually do believe.
Yeah, I think there's just a lot of hate on the internet.
Yeah.
I think it's just the current climate, and I think this has...
I don't know, I would just prefer platforms to serve your content to people that they know is going to enjoy the content, and not the main priority be any kind of engagement.
Yeah, it's good for the numbers. Good for them. It's like, look, there's so many people engaging, there's so many users, and then you have the people invest in it.
Yeah, and it's annoying.
Yeah, for 100%.
As a content creator, who just wants people who wants to build a positive community.
Yeah,
and transparent community. And the thing is, when you're transparent about things, a lot of people get pissed off.
Yeah, it's like, let's talk about that.
Yeah,
it's like super interesting to see when you publish like real numbers, when you publish like what you do, then they suddenly say, you do that? You have no followers, you have a $15 website, quotation marks. Yeah. And what do you know about this thing?
Yeah, let's talk about clout, because we wanted to talk about clout in this episode too. So I posted on Substack, our newsletter, this week was about how you don't have to be the best designer in the world to make a lot of money.
What? Really? Damn.
And what I wanted to say, and it went into detail about like context about that one of the viral threads posts we had where a lot of people got mad at us and bullied us. But what I wanted to say with that post was also, which I mentioned at the end of the article, but it wasn't like the main thing, so I didn't. That's why it's just like a little bonus thing at the end. That clout doesn't matter. It's not like it shouldn't be your top priority. Basically, you can run a super successful business and not be on social media at all. First of all, and second of all, you can run a super successful business and only have a few hundred followers on Instagram, still be making a lot of money. Or Threads or wherever you are, whichever platform you are on, if you only have a few hundred followers or 20 followers, you could still be making really good money, and it wouldn't matter. Your follower count doesn't matter.
What?
Yeah.
I don't believe that. You're a scammer. You're scamming people.
So a lot of people thought like we are a nobody. They just assumed we are a nobody because they didn't know us from social media. They saw we only have 1,200 followers on Threads, which to them, I guess, was not a lot. To me, that's a lot. I feel like it's a good amount.
Yeah.
Can you imagine 1,200 people in a room? It's a lot of people.
Yeah. I'm always impressed by, like, you know, having 400 and people engage. I don't really care about the count. It's more about the engagement and more about the conversations. Of course, I would lie to be like, okay, wow, I don't care at all. But it's like not the top priority. I think it's more like a milestone. It like helps you to be like, okay, I'm making progress.
Yeah. It's more about to see that you're growing.
Exactly. More like that, but less about
the number itself.
Exactly, because 1,000 and 1,200 could mean similar types of engagement.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyways, what I was trying to say what I want to say about clout is that it depends what your priority is and what you want to achieve with your business. If you're a service provider, which we are, like first and foremost, we are service providers. We create websites for our clients. Our clients don't give an F about how many followers we have on Instagram or Threads or TikTok.
They'll be like, wait, they only have 1,000 followers. You're not going to book them. Even though we love their work, but we're not going to book them.
They've never even, I don't think any of them have even seen our Instagram.
They don't even look at our portfolio.
They don't even look at our website. Like we have to send them. That's why we took our portfolio off our website. I don't know whoever's looked at our website recently. It changed. We took our portfolio off because no one even looks at it.
They always ask us to send our portfolio.
Now we have a presentation which we will update when we have new projects. We're going to add them to that presentation, and this presentation is the same link every time we send that to potential clients who want to see our portfolio. Sometimes they don't even want to see it.
No, they booked us just based on recommendation.
And that is the thing. So the clout that you have, it's not social media clout that matters. It is the clout within your network that matters.
Yeah.
If you are a service provider and that is where you want to make your money, you don't need to have Instagram or any of that stuff at all. Like, because clients will refer you within your network, and they're not referring your Instagram link. They're referring your email or your website, and they're saying, hey, I worked with this person. They were really good. Check them out.
Usually just email.
Yeah, it's usually email. Everything happens over email, and then they don't even look at your website.
Yeah, that's what just came to us quite recently. That's why we changed it, because I don't know, we had like the 10th person recently asking for a portfolio, and we were like, we have a website.
I know, and they even see our website in our email, but
Exactly.
They don't think to look at it.
No, I don't think I think it's a lot of effort. I think
they see it as more effort to click on a website link and look at it and research it themselves than you sending them like an already curated thing.
Exactly, that's what
they can click through.
Exactly. So you already send them a curation, because if it's like, I don't know, within a certain business, it makes sense to put things in there within that certain business. So we send that portfolio to them.
Yeah.
And that's like, okay, I see the conversion rate, I see this, I see that. And then they have all the info kind of like consolidated. Whereas with a website, so okay, I don't know, they first have to like go on the website, and they have to like, how does the website work? Okay, what are the projects? And they clicky. I don't know. I don't even think they clicky.
No, I get it. I get it totally, because sometimes there are tasks where you feel like, oh my God, this is going to be so much work.
Yeah.
And you just don't want to do it. And you ask someone else to do something for you to get the information you need.
Yeah. But
And that other person is thinking, oh my God, just go look at this thing yourself. But for some reason in your mind, that seems like so much effort. So I kind of get it. I have those moments myself. But anyway, basically what I'm trying to say is social media doesn't matter at all if you're a service provider. I honestly really truly believe that.
yeah.
Unless you're using social media to find clients, which I can see as a potential marketing funnel, that's something else. But if you have a network already of clients and you're being referred within that network anyway, you don't even need to be on social.
Yeah. Also, I think it would be first more important to put your work out there on platforms
That already have a network. We've said this before.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like that's way more priority than building followers on Instagram
Yeah.
or wherever you want to build them.
The other thing we noticed about Instagram, and this might not be true for everybody, this might also be because we provide educational content for business owners, but everyone that we had on Instagram and including Threads as followers and people engaging with us were other business owners, our peers or our competition or people that look up to us. None of them are booking us for our services.
Yeah.
So
It's
people
not for our design and development services.
Yeah, it would be stuff like consulting or buying our course or just writing us, asking us a question. It wouldn't be booking us for a website.
Yeah. I think that's where this distinction comes in, and that's where also then our shift happened.
Yeah, so I think we've always talked about Instagram and anything we do online being for community and not for our clients, because it never was. We never got a client through any of the social media platforms. So why should we start? I mean, if they're coming anyway from other other referrals, we don't need to do that. Yeah, and then Instagram just became not the place to do the community thing that we were trying to do.
Yeah. It's hard to grow a community on there.
Yeah, because Instagram just sucks. It's not about
Instagram sucks.
No, it's not about community. It used to be, and everybody that has a following there and has built a community there from years ago.
Yeah.
And they're still there. That's something else. I'm not talking about starting a community there now is so hard because the algorithm pushes rage bait, low quality content.
Yeah.
Low quality in terms of like long-term effect
Value.
and and then essentially value, because people are just looking at it quickly, reacting to it, and on to the next one.
Yeah, I think that's also just where it all shifted, and I think a lot of people are fed up with social media for those reasons.
People are going back to YouTube. People who used to do YouTube, but then they went to Instagram and abandoned their YouTube. They're like reviving their YouTube suddenly.
Yeah.
Because they themselves are sick of creating that content, and also just being part of that endless cycle of having to produce content, like so much content in such a short amount of time, just for like a very quick momentary success and on to the next one.
Yeah. It's very fleeting.
Yeah.
No, definitely. Okay, then also let's talk about our musketeers of social media that we currently have.
Our new content strategy.
Yes.
I think our new content strategy is based in longevity on multiple levels. Like, one, I want the content to live somewhere for a long time and be a reference for what, like, someone could in 5 years search something and then they'll land on one of our newsletters on Substack, or they'll land on one of our YouTube videos, you know. Mm-hmm. I just want the content to live somewhere forever, kind of thing, and still be relevant in like 5-10 years, you know. I don't want to be like creating trendy stuff that people don't care about in a few weeks. Should be stuff that's relevant forever, kind of thing. And then longevity in terms of like a long-term thing. So I see our content strategy as something that's going to build over a long period of time. It's going to take a long time to get to whatever our final goal. And I guess my final goal would be to have a community, like kind of like what we had on Threads. But I see it as something that would build towards more of a like, not necessarily on Discord, but more of a like Discord situation, where there's people like talking to each other, where we're there to provide knowledge, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so a community, basically.
A community, yeah, but like where people are actually talking to each other.
Yeah.
I feel like, and it's hard to do that. I feel like most of these platforms are not built for that, because it's like, yes, people can talk to each other in the comments, but it's not like Reddit, you know, where it's like a forum and it's meant for people to talk to each other.
Yeah.
And if you're on a forum for a long time, you kind of get to know the people who engage a lot in that forum. So I see our journey becoming something like, maybe we have like some kind of a community chat, maybe on Substack, because it has that functionality. I don't know. That's like the next stage.
Yeah. So first things first.
First things first is to actually have people like interested in our content and want to see our content regularly.
I mean, there are people interested in our content. Like, there are a lot of people who actually moved.
I know. I was surprised when we announced we were leaving Instagram, how many people actually signed up to our Substack.
Yeah. So there were a lot of lurkers, as we call it, that were actually interested and were actually like, I don't know, engaging with our content, like not actually engaging with it, but like watching it and being genuinely interested in it.
Yeah.
And even if it's just like, I feel like with Substack, for example, if someone signs up for a newsletter for not education, like a newsletter as in blog posts, because that's what Substack serves you, then you really need to be interested in,
I feel like
someone and invested, because who's gonna read that if I don't care?
Yeah, that's what I liked about moving, is we lost all the followers on Instagram basically, besides the 60 people that came with us.
Yeah.
But for me, 60 people signing up to our newsletter is a huge win, and it's a much bigger win than getting those 20 likes on Instagram or whatever that was, like, and having 1,200 followers that gave us nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, I feel like that having 60 people committed to our content, that they would give it their email to Substack and be like, hey, no, send me this once a week.
Yeah.
That's way more rewarding to me. And like I said, like on YouTube, if 8 people watched the video, that already makes me happy.
Yeah. Apropos YouTube, just a quick example. For example, I watch a lot of camera content and a lot of educational content like that, and reviews. And I don't know, at some point on the right side where you can see like similar videos, there was someone with like hardly any views, I think like 100 or something.
Yeah.
I was like surprised because the thumbnail looked super cool, and then I clicked it and it was a really good video. And I was like, I even like left a like and engaged, because I thought, okay, wow, so happy I got served this. And it just shows that even amongst all the videos there that had really a lot of views, there are still some gems like also served to you.
Yeah, I used to do YouTube, like, do you remember?
I
It's
remember.
my short-lived YouTube career. But my videos got a lot of views, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Even though I was a nobody. I think I have on that account like 40 subscribers or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I had this one video where I went to like Bratislava for the day. Mm-hmm. And then I got so many views, like from people in Slovakia. Like they were just commenting like, oh my God, so cute. Like, I don't know. They made like comments about Slovakia and Bratislava. And I was like, that's so cute. Like they were watching, I'm a nobody, and they're just watching me, my vlog from this one day.
Yeah.
Where I didn't do anything like of note, you know, it was just like random content. But that's what I like about YouTube. I feel like the people there are more engaged.
Yeah, but I also noticed the rage bait isn't, also at least where I am in the YouTube sphere, is kind of non-existent.
I know the only thing about that YouTube does, which I think is funny, and we do it too, is the clickbaity titles and clickbaity thumbnails. That's definitely a thing. But you notice within like the first few minutes, like, okay, this was clickbait, and you just go on to the next one.
Yeah.
I don't mind it, honestly. Sometimes it's also even funny.
Yeah, I mean, I click it and then I stay.
Yeah, you stay, because sometimes you realize, okay, they got me.
Yeah.
But it's actually stuff I want to listen to. So
I just
fine.
recently clicked on one, but it's a creator that I know and I also follow.
Yeah.
So I already knew that person. I clicked it, but still thought it's like real. Then he already starts with kind of like, he doesn't say, okay, this was a clickbaity title, but he kind of already goes into the episode with like,
that's not true.
That's not true.
Yeah.
Like, type of thing. I'm like, oh, okay, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
And I still stayed. I watched the whole video, so it worked on me.
Yeah, and then so the longevity thing is, one, it's going to be a long road ahead, I think.
Yeah, for sure. But
Then also keeping the content somewhere just forever. And then also having just long form content. That's another thing
yeah, but
that I want to be doing.
But I think that that's kind of also what we are mostly about.
Exactly. It just suits what we do.
Exactly, because whenever we talk about about the business, we always say that it's not an instant gratification thing. You're in there for the long run, and it takes a lot of time to get somewhere, but it's worth it. And it's
The
kind
return, I think, is going to be better, and the value is higher.
Exactly. And that's kind of what we have been preaching in other areas. So I'm happy we're now going down that route in this area too.
And I think it's what I enjoy doing most. So I love writing, and I love writing long form content. And then I also like making YouTube videos. I mean, I did it for a while just for fun a few years ago. And then, and I did all the course videos, and it was a lot of work, but it was also fun. And I enjoy doing it for these shorter educational videos to promote the course. They're like little snippets. So like if you want to have an idea of what kind of content is in the course, you can watch those videos. Or if you just want like small bits of information and you don't need like the full course to help you, I think that it's also valuable for people who maybe have experience already and just need like a little bit of help in a certain area, like what you do on YouTube. You just need like some advice, so you go and you search something. Yeah, so that's kind of what it's like. We do the same stuff, so like stuff for our clients, and this is our content strategy is what we do for us and our community. It's like completely separate.
Yeah, it's really two separate things.
It's two pillars. I always say like we have the content creation pillar, which is the community, and then the service providing pillar, which is the clients.
Yeah.
And they're separated from each other. And the one brings in the most money right now, unfortunately. Obviously, someday I would like to be making money off of creating content, but we're nowhere near that now.
No.
And again, that's another longevity thing. Like it's going to take a while.
Yeah. And it's fine because we still do the other pillar.
Yeah.
And
two things can exist.
Really? I thought you have to be shit at one thing to enjoy the other thing.
No, apparently there's no way you could be offering a course if you were successful, because you wouldn't need to do the course if you were actually making money.
Yeah, makes total sense to me.
But it's not about needing to do the course. It's about wanting to do the course. Can you believe that?
No, I cannot believe wanting to do something. I don't understand. If you're successful in one thing, then you should stick with that one thing forever.
Honestly, I think those types of people can't be neurodivergent if they believe that. I don't know anybody who is neurodivergent who does one thing and nothing else. Do you?
In general, I don't know. I think there is just an issue with this perception. It's like this black and white thinking.
No, but I know a lot of people that will have like one job and they go do their job and then they come home and they watch Netflix and that's all they do. Like they don't have any hobbies. They don't have any hyperfixations. They don't have I want to start knitting now. And then they buy all the tools to start knitting and then they knit one thing and then they're like, okay, I'm done to the next one.
Yeah, no, I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't know. I feel like I can't imagine doing one thing. Like, sure, it's cool that it's successful, but like, why stop there? I guess that's my thought.
It's the same thing with actors, for example, when they start a band or when they start singing. That was like, why are they singing now?
Oh, why are they trying to do it all?
Exactly.
Maybe they want to.
Yeah, but that's the same energy. I think it's just difficult to understand. If you're successful in one thing, why do you need to do the other thing? And like you said, it's not about the needing to do another thing. It's like the wanting to do. Now you finally have the means or the time to do the other thing you always wanted to do.
Yeah, that's how it is.
You start with one thing because you want to do one thing, but once you do that thing, you know the ins and outs of it, and suddenly, hey, there's a downtime. Why not do something else we enjoy and start doing that?
Yeah.
It's like, it's not that deep. I don't know. It's not that difficult to understand.
Apparently it is.
I know I remember the comments, but...
I remember me replying. Do you know, I replied to all these comments pretty snarky. Kali.
Yeah, I saw it. It's the one that you also attached to the article, no?
Yeah.
The blog post.
Yeah.
The Substack.
Yeah, to the Substack, yeah.
Okay.
I said something like, people can do more than one thing. What a concept.
Yeah.
And I remember somebody in the comments saying like, we don't need to defend ourselves in the comments. Like, they get the prices and it makes sense and stuff. I wasn't defending us. I was just like trying to troll them back because they were trolling us. Because you can't win with those people. Like, they won't get it.
No.
If you're making a comment like that, it's a lost cause. I say as someone trying to educate people.
I guess, yeah. I guess that's what was always my...
No, but I mean, it's a lost cause because it doesn't matter how many different ways you try to tell them your reality. If they don't come to realize it themselves, they're never going to accept it. Yeah. They're going to continue to argue with you.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. But that's one thing for me where social media is like difficult, because I cannot really deal with comments like that.
Yeah, me neither. That's why I don't try to defend us or discuss it with them. It's more like I just try to shut them down with the same energy they're giving me.
Yeah, but maybe that's exactly what they're looking for.
But most of them didn't even reply after I commented.
Maybe then it was bots.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's bots.
Yeah, but also that also just shows the rage bait thing. It's about you comment and then leave.
Yeah.
I said what I needed to say, get it off my chest because I was angry.
Yeah.
And I channeled it into that, and then I'm leaving and I'm over it.
Yeah.
But you're on the receiving end, you're like, okay, what the hell? And you are like, okay, let's talk about it or let's discuss this. And then they're gone.
Yeah.
But they're not looking for a conversation. Mm-hmm. They're just looking to, I don't know.
That's what I want to get away from. I do want our content to provoke thinking and to provoke reactions from people, but more in the sense that they feel the need to ask a question or share their experience or make a comment that's going to lead to a productive conversation about something.
Yeah, I feel like that's what we're having. That's what I'm experiencing on Substack.
Yeah, definitely.
I really like that. Yeah, so seems like a good first step.
Yeah, I feel like maybe in 6 months or something we can do an update episode on this topic.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's schedule it in the calendar so I don't forget.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'll put it in I'll pencil it in.
Yes. Thanks.
Okay.